Hey guys, welcome back. In the last session, we have written a account services class, and we have stopped in the middle actually. So we haven't completed this add account method. So we are in the middle of writing the add account method. So here at the line number 18, so we have written a valid customer method, but we haven't created this method actually. So in the valid customer, what we are doing is we are validating it. We are checking whether customer ID which is sending by the accounts team, whether we have the customer is onboarded to the bank or not. So if he is onboarded to the bank, so we will be able to create an account for the customer. So if he is not onboarded to the bank, we are not going to create the account for the customer. So for that, I have written this validation. I have written this method actually for validating the customer. So let's go and create the validate customer method. So we have created the validate customer method, which will be taking the customer ID as a parameter. So now inside this inside this validate customer, so let's add some loggers actually, log.info, and we will be adding the logger. So here we are saying that validate the customer. So that we go to the customer with the valid with the customer ID, the customer, okay, customer ID. So we will be giving the customer ID, and here we are providing the customer ID, which is sent uh, from the Postman. Okay, from the Postman or from the add account method. Okay, so we'll give this customer ID. That's fine. Okay, so now we have uh, we have written the logger. Now here, what we have to do, we have to check actually. So what we have to check, we have to perform one check over here. If the customer ID is null, so we can say that we should be passing the valid customer ID. Okay. So if we are saying if condition, if the customer ID equals to 0, or the customer ID is equals to -1. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to log a message like, please pass the valid customer details. Customer with the, so we can say that please send the valid customer details. Valid customer details. I'll give the customer ID. Okay. If not, what we are doing is, if not, what we are doing is we will be getting the customer. We will be getting the, if not, if the customer ID is not equals to 0, if the customer ID is not equals to no -1, then what we are doing is we will be making a call to the customer service actually. The customer service is running on the port 8081. So we should construct the URL first. So let's first hard code the URL. So I'll say string URL equals to, I'll say HTTP colon HTTP in double quotes I have to written because it is a string, right? The HTTP colon double slash localhost colon 8081, because the customer service is working, it's running on the port 8081. So think that this is a base URL. So this is the base URL. This is the base URL. Now you have to this is the base URL. Now you have to give the service name. So what service you want to connect to. So service name, it is a string. So let me take this as a string, service name. So here, if you go to the Postman, you can see the customer service name is, this is the one, API slash V1 slash customer. Customers is the service name. Okay. So we'll be giving the service name. Okay. So then we should be having the customer ID. We got the customer ID as well. Now let's construct the URI. So we'll say URL equals to base URL. We'll say base URL plus service URL, service name, sorry, this service name. And then what you have to do, you have to concatenate, you have to add slash customer ID. Okay. So you should be saying something like this plus double colon slash, and you should be mentioning the customer ID. That's what you'll be doing. Now you constructed the, full URL. Now you have to, make a call to the customer service. And so how you can make a call? So in order to make a call, we have a two different ways. Okay. One is the synchronous way. The other one is the asynchronous way. So asynchronous way, in the sense, we can use for asynchronous, we can use the messaging tools like JMS, Java Messaging Service, RabbitMQ. Okay, so we asynchronous, in the sense, you can fire the request. Okay, so but you will not wait for the response actually. Okay, so when it comes to the synchronous, you will be firing up the request. So once you'll be waiting for the response over here. So we need a response from the customer service. We are waiting for the, we need to wait the response, and we need to use the same response, and we need to process it actually. Okay, we need to use the same response, and we can process it. We can process the add account. Now what I'll do is I'll be using the synchronous call. So in order to do a synchronous call, we have a REST template actually. So REST template is given by the Spring Boot actually. So you should be using REST template, okay, REST template, semicolon, and here we have to auto it. It is already given by the Spring Boot, so it is somewhere in the, it is inbuilt. REST template is inbuilt with the Spring Boot. So now we are just injecting the REST template into this account services. Okay, so now using the REST template, I'll be making a call. I'll say REST template dot get for entity. So here first here you need to pass two parameters. One is the URL. The other one is the what is the expected output you are looking for it actually. So when you call the this endpoint, you should be getting the customer details, right? So the customer details, in the sense, you will be expecting a customer pojo. So you should be passing the URL, and so not here. You should be passing the URL, and you should be passing the customer dot class, because the customer here I'll be getting an exception. Why I'm getting an exception? Customer is a part of the customer service. You can see here customer is a customer pojo is a part of the customer service. Now we are using the same customer service. We need to use the same customer service in the accounts as well. So why we are using it? For interchanging the data, for interchanging the data. Okay, that's why we are using the customer service. The one thing over here is, here in customer service, we are storing the customer related details, but in account services, we are just using the properties of customer service. We are not, storing this customer service entity details into the database table. So as of now, what I'll do is I'll copy this entire thing. I'll directly go to the account services. I'll create one package called DTO. So DTO, it is only used for data transfer. So we will be creating DTOs only for the data transfer. So here I need a DTO for transferring the data. For getting the data, for transferring the data, I'll be using DTO. Let's paste it over here. The customer, like we have copied the customer details. So let's paste it. Now, in order to persist if you don't want to persist it, right, then we have to remove entity and the JPA related annotations. Okay, so now we have removed it. So now we have the customer with us. So now let's go to the account services. In the account services, what you have to do, you have to import this customer service. So customer class. So we have imported the customer class. So this will return the response entity. You can see this will return the response entity. You can see here, get for entity object, get for entity method, it will be returning the response entity. So I'll say response entity, and the type would be a customer. Of course, we need that type only. So here we'll be mentioning the object name. So customer response entity. Okay. So let's maximize the screen. Let's maximize the screen. Oh, here what we will do is if customer response entity dot get status code is 200. Okay. 200 in the sense it is successful. Okay, if the status code is successful, so then we can say that we can get the we can get the body from the response entity. So we can say that customer response entity dot get body will be getting the body. So this will be returning the object actually. So we are typecasting explicitly typecasting to customer actually. So I'll say customer. Next to here, I'll say customer. That's fine. So we have explicitly typecasted to the customer. So if you want to log the customer details, you can log it actually. Okay. So here, customer with the customer ID. So we got the customer details. I can directly say that we got the customer details. We don't need to. Let's remove this one. Let's remove this one. So here I need to add a logger. I'll say log.info. I'll say here. So fetch the customer for given customer ID. Given customer ID. Okay. So I will say customer and customer ID. So these are the things I have done. So now what I have done now in this method, I have checked whether the customer ID is equals to 0 or not. If it is not, so what we are doing is we are constructing the base. We have the base URI, we have the service name, and we are with this we are constructing the URL, and we are using the REST template to fire up the request, and it will be returning the response entity. So if the response is if the response status is 200, so we'll be getting the response body. We'll be getting the response body. So once we get the response body, we are logging the message. That's what we have done. Now the next step, what we have to do, as we have uh, the response written actually, as we are getting the response, what we can say is that response, as we can say over here. So we can say as we are getting the response, we can say that we are getting the response by returning a true. Okay. If we are not, we can return the false. So here I'll be defining the Boolean value. I'll say Boolean is valid customer. At first it will be returning a false. Okay, now here what we are doing is we are making this to is valid customer to return true. Okay, so if not, what we'll do is we'll be coming out of it. We'll say sorry. Okay, and total the format. Okay, we have formatted. So now what we can say is return is valid customer. That's what we can return. That's what here instead of writing it here. I think this is fine. Location only. So is valid customer. Here we need to write a semicolon. That's fine. So now what we are doing, valid customer, what we have done, we are checking whether the customer ID is 0 or whether the customer ID is 0 or -1. If it is 0 or -1, we are saying that please send the valid customer details. If not, we are constructing the base. We are constructing the URL by using the base URL and the service name, and we are using the REST template, and we are firing up the request. We are getting the response actually. So if the response status is 200, we are getting the response body, and we are saying that is valid customer is true. If not, we are returning the false actually. That's what we are doing it. Okay. So I hope this is fine. I hope you understood it. I hope you understood this one. So in the next session, what I'll do is I'll be working on the Add account method option. Okay, saving the account details for the customer. You know. Until then, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channels. I'm seeing a lot of people are not subscribing the channel and watching it without subscribing it. So I request you to subscribe my channel so that I'll get motivated. I'll do more videos on it. Thank you for watching.